Hi, today I have a message called Fine Tune and Focus. So, the short version: Spirit can fine tune and focus you to help you see what is really here. The matrix is falling. Think of blessings coming from the place where you are joined with everyone and everything. Everyone deserves peace. There is a safe path for you to walk today. Okay, so Spirit can fine tune and focus you to help you see what is really here. That's the opportunity of any moment. So if there's any tension, I need the perception adjusted. I need to allow the fine tuning and the focus, and that's what needs to happen first. If I decide to keep reacting from a reactive place, where the perception is that we're separate and that there are conflicting interests, then that's just more of the same. But we might be tired of more of the same by now and willing to let something else in. And this fine-tuning and focusing is here. If we allow, I keep seeing dials that Spirit is adjusting. And whenever there's any defensiveness or resistance, it's like I've refused to allow the sight of what's actually here. But if I let Spirit come in and adjust the dials, that's really all I need to do. And everything is made clear from there. So anywhere I still think I, as a separate one, know what's going on, or I, as a separate one, know how to define separate things, or I, as a separate one, know how to forge ahead and define this, or I, as a separate one, have to defend this or avoid this. That's where Spirit's working, and that's where Spirit can adjust all the dials. Spirit can fine-tune and focus you to help you see what is really here. What is really here is the great blessing everyone and everything is. And if I'm seeing anything else on top of that, that's just what I'm seeing. So it's like there's always been a great blessing here for everybody, but I've been shooting up illusion in front of it. I've been defending against God. I've been trying not to remember what is actually here. And I've been experiencing all this illusion. It has seemed very real. So everything adversarial has this, that seems adversarial, it has this adversarial skin on it, or this projection of an image on top of it that seems adversarial. But right behind it is the light I've been denying, and no one else. I can't look at anyone I call else and say, that one's been denied. It's me. I've been denying it. So when I can see that, that's what tension or stress means. And it means I've been denying the light that's here behind the image I'm projecting, behind the experience I'm having. Even if the tension is really small, then I can come into this state where I do allow Spirit to fine-tune and focus me. Okay, the matrix is falling. So when the word matrix comes up, what it means to me, it always looks like a grid, and it's a grid that I have requested. It's a grid of judgment. So I know what this is, and I know what that is, and I know what I want to walk closer to, and I know what I want to avoid, and I know how to categorize and label and define all these things, and I'm going to constantly judge my surroundings and myself and my actions and your actions, and I'm going to sort everything into good and bad, and it's always this grid, and it seems like it's made of iron. So when I see it's very rigid and inflexible. When I see the matrix falling, I just see this crashing to the ground instead of, kind of suspended around me. It's done. It's gone. It's something I invented. And to say I invented it, we're all the I, but for any one of us to say I invented it is to step forward into the healing that we can share with everybody, and to accept that healing, to understand we never needed this iron grid of inflexibility we've been depending upon. And yeah, we can use it to do magic, meaning I want to see or experience this specific thing instead of that specific thing, and then it seems we apply effort, and then that happens. But that's not our nourishment. Our trying to have very specific experiences that the ego tells us we want. that's just more of the same delusion. So when we get underneath that and realize, I really just want to be at peace, and that doesn't have a specific form. I really just want to be happy, and that doesn't have a specific form, and I really just want to remember the truth, and that doesn't have a specific form. Then we put Spirit in charge, and on our way through and out of our hallucination, we put Spirit in charge of any form we would experience. We just leave it completely open. So this restrictive grid isn't here anymore. We just leave it completely open and say, okay. So the matrix is falling. That means any way I would judge you, positively or negatively, in comparison or contrast to another, is not needed, never has been needed. And in relationship with people, sometimes we think we want them to judge us especially well. If you're coming into a new social situation, you think your objective is to avoid the negative judgment and gain the positive judgment. Well, all of that's gone now. And what we're used to relying upon, it's gone, it's not here. So we have to reach inside and understand, okay, there's a guidance here, and I can follow that. And that's now my objective. There's something within, and it doesn't depend on this matrix of judgment that I invented. Again, any I can say I invented the matrix of judgment, because we're all the same I, and we're all seeking to return to the happiness that is ours, the happiness that we are, the happiness that everyone and everything is, behind any mask we're projecting on it. And this is how we allow that matrix of judgment to fall. Then when we rely entirely upon Spirit to guide us through whatever we're perceiving. Okay, think of blessings coming from the place where you are joined with everyone and everything. So what is the opportunity of every day? Constant blessing. Blessing everyone and everything. Allowing yourself to be blessed, understanding that blessings coming to everyone, that's a presence. It's always here. That opportunity is always here. And to me, what I'm shown is we just consistently tune into the place where everyone and everything are joined. And that's not our habit yet. That's almost like we don't know how to do it, but we're being shown how. We're being shown how. So that's where I can put my confidence and faith. I'm being shown how to live from this place, to tune into this place consistently, where everyone and everything is joined. And the ego is going to pop up and say, you won't even know how to function. What are you doing? Well, the ego doesn't know anything about anything real, and the ego pretends to know everything about all the fake things. So it's not very helpful, and the more we can see this, the less we listen to it. I still listen to it, but feeling is showing me that I really shouldn't. I should come into this, what seems like an undefined place, and that's why the ego thoughts always tell me never to trust it, and just allow this big, open, undefined place to do all the leading and make all of the decisions. We're used to, pretty much hell on earth, making our decisions for us. Isn't that crazy? Because we're used to getting them from the ego, from the sense of the separate self, from the sense that I want this and I do not want that, and I have to avoid this, and I have to put all these chess pieces in place on the board so I can get what I want and avoid what I don't want. So that's falling away. And what's here? Blessings coming from the place where you are joined with everyone and everything. Think of blessings coming from the place where you are joined with everyone and everything. And if we have that ability today to come back to this place, there's a place where I'm joined with everyone and everything. I can see I'm a little rattled by ego's incoming judgments of things and people, and I'm feeling a little confused or off or tense. But instead I can focus upon there's a huge open space where we're all joined, everyone and everything, anything you can imagine is all joined in this place. And this is the place from where all the blessings come. And I don't know what they are. It's not like the ego when it does magic to bring specific sights into being and then says, I have pleasure because this specific sight or experience is here to satisfy me. It's not like that at all. You don't know what the blessings are. It's just this huge open place. And they constantly flow from this. It's like this unending fountain I've been shown before. And the ego sees this unending fountain as its destruction. But through mind training, the ego can be trained. And so we can train the sense of being here as this character. We can allow that to get trained. So when the fear sensor is going off, instead, we look toward this huge place of blessing, where blessings flow forth for everyone and everything. And we just look toward it and let it influence, let it have its way, let it be what it is. Let blessing be what it is. And let that come into our sight. And that's not planning on having something specific for yourself or someone else. That's just tuning into blessing and allowing blessing. So that feels like what the difference is. That means we're not trying to control specifics. We know we're just supposed to tune into this place and let this place take care of everything seen and experienced. Okay, everyone deserves peace. So if there's anyone or anything, I don't think we think of objects as not deserving peace, so I'll just say anyone. If there's anyone who doesn't deserve peace, then I don't deserve peace. Or if there's anyone who doesn't deserve peace, then one I would think of as my very cherished loved one doesn't deserve peace. It's all of us or none of us. So if the surfaces I'm seeing in the world I have projected, and I've called some especially good, which means I'm hiding the fact that they're goodness without opposite eternally, because if I say one is especially good, I'm also saying they could change to bad, because this is a world of opposites. So my cherished one who is especially good could become especially bad. And if I'm looking at another one and I'm saying this separate one over here, what I'm projecting, the fear surface I'm projecting in front of the being, which is goodness without opposite, I'm seeing and experiencing it as very real. And a personage, a separate one, who seems to be very bad. And no one could deny it based on perception. If that one doesn't deserve peace, then I don't. If that one doesn't deserve peace, it's all inclusive, then the one over there who seems to be the very cherished loved one who I would strive to protect and assist in any way I could. Would I do the same for the one I've projected the murderer's costume onto? That's not a forcing of action or behavior. It's a looking at. I've projected fearful surfaces. And the one I say is especially good is just as fearful and brittle and destructible is the one I say is especially bad. So when I can see that, I see what I've done, which is nothing at all, because it's illusion. So we have to use the word done, very useful, very lightly. Is that what I want to say? We have to use the word what I've done very lightly, flexibly when it comes to illusion, because illusion hasn't been done at all. It's illusion, nothing happened. The ego seems like something and is actually nothing. But what is something? The only something, the goodness without opposite that all of us are together. And when I allow spirit to come in and fine-tune and focus, I start to remember that. I start to allow the sight of that. And I don't know how specifically. It's just a willingness to tune into this place and allow. And when I remember that everyone deserves peace, And if there's a single one who I've in mind split apart from the rest of us, and I say that one doesn't deserve peace, then I don't deserve peace anymore. And that's a very terrible setting for me to be in. So clearly everyone deserves peace. And this place where we're joined with everyone and everything is that peace that we are together. And that's the place that blessings flow forth from. So whenever there's something off, the learning is tune into this place. Have willingness to find this place. Have willingness to remember this place. And let this place pour its blessings upon you. Or the ego would say, let this place dictate. Dictate what you're going to say, what you're going to do, what you're going to perceive. Because this place can dictate what you're going to perceive. It can control it. So instead of standing in front of this place and imagining hard and then coming into a world of time and space that reflects what you believe to be true, you give way and allow this place of peace and blessing to send you thoughts which you believe, and then those thoughts make the world you experience. And they're always very loving thoughts. Okay, there is a safe path for you to walk today. So, in any thought of there being a lack of safety, the next place where your foot seems to come down can be in a safe place. And that's connected to going into the safe place in the mind. The safe place in the mind is where goodness without opposite is shared with everyone and everything. If I share goodness without opposite with everyone and everything, that's the world I step into. We're not used to having this responsibility, but it's still here. If I share peace with everyone and everything, that's where my foot comes down. My next footstep comes down in a world where everyone and everything is allowed to be what they always have been. They've always been peace. I may have shot up like a holographic image in front of it. That's what I'm seeing. That would pretend. All you can do is pretend to contradict the peace that is real. And we can retire from that occupation. We've been occupied with projecting these fearful holographic surfaces. Now we get to retire from that occupation. There's a safe path for you to walk today. If there's a safe path for you to walk today, then there's a safe path for everyone to walk today. So as we come into this oneness, we see that safety is just as present and achievable in perception for everyone. If we all share the same mind, then the perception of safety is possible for everyone without exception. If you think of that next place where your foot is going to come down, do you want to step into the... It's still an illusion. It still looks like time and space, but it's more honest about what is real. So do you want everyone's next footstep to come down into a chaotic place or into a peaceful, happy, loving place? Do you want everyone's next footstep to come down into a place with goodness without opposite eternally? Or do you want everyone's next footstep to come down into a place where illusion reigns and chaos and we pretend that there's something other than happiness? There's something real that's other than joy. There's something real that's other than love. Do we want to keep pretending, or do we want to let go of our pretending and to be led? So fine-tuning and focusing, that's here for us today as we heal. And we can relax into spirit and say, do what you will. Give me the proper perception. Correct my misperception. And that's it. So happy healing to you today. I'll be doing my part over here. Thanks.